This is a video on the 45-45-90 right triangle. This is also a special right triangle that has a ratio of the sides of the triangle being 1 to 1 to square root of 2. What that means is that the two legs on the right triangle are in a 1 to 1 ratio, and that the leg from the hypotenuse is a 1 to square root of 2 ratio. The formula, if we were to convert it to a formula, would be leg times square root of 2 equal hypotenuse. We're going to do about 3 examples, maybe 4, on using the 45-45-90 ratio. I'm going to start with this example, and in this example 8 centimeters is my leg. Remember, a right triangle has 2 legs and 1 hypotenuse. Sometimes the legs are congruent, like in the case of the 45-45, sometimes they are not congruent. If the legs are congruent, then this 8 centimeter leg here is also the value of x. So x is also 8 centimeters because the legs are in a 1 to 1 ratio. The hypotenuse is the leg times the square root of 2. So I'm going to take 8 times the square root of 2, and I will have the value of y. 8 times the square root of 2 is simply 8 square roots of 2, and that's in centimeters. So my hypotenuse is 8 square roots of 2 centimeters. Second example. In this example, I also have a leg. The leg is 18 square roots of 5. That means the other leg is the same measurement, so it's 18 square roots of 5 centimeters. The hypotenuse is the leg times the square root of 2. So I'm going to plug in my numbers. 18 square roots of 5 times the square root of 2, and I will have the value of y. When we multiply the radical times the radical, so square root of 5 times square root of 2 is square root of 10. So I have 18 square roots of 10 centimeters is y. Now I also want to double check to see if you can simplify square root of 10. There are no perfect squares in it, so it remains 18 square roots of 10. Next example. In this example, you are getting the information that is the hypotenuse. We're still going to use the same ratio, 1 to 1 to square root of 2, but this time we're going from a longer side in the triangle to a shorter. That means our value should be smaller. So I'm going to use my same formula, which is leg times square root of 2 equal hypotenuse. And so I'm going to plug in one of the legs. I'm going to go x, so square root of 2 times x equal 15 square roots of 5. I need to get to x, so I divide by the square root of 2 on both sides. So x is 15 square roots of 5 over the square root of 2. Now you cannot leave a square root in your denominator, so we're going to have to rationalize. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 2. And so x is now 15 square root of 5 times square root of 2 is square root of 10. Square root of 2 over square root of 2 is plain 2. Now I look at the 15 over 2, and that does not simplify, so my value is going to be 15 square roots of 10 over 2 centimeters, and that is the leg. It is also the value of y because the legs are the same measurement. Next example. Once again, you're given the hypotenuse. It is 19. Now, after you do several examples, you'll realize that you can just use your ratio instead of plugging into the formulas all the time. And so I know that if I want to get from the hypotenuse to the leg, I'm simply going to take 19 and divide it by the square root of 2, and that's going to equal my leg. Once again, I'm going to have to rationalize, multiplying the top and bottom by square root of 2. So 19 square root of 2, top and bottom by square root of 2, or numerator and denominator by square root of 2, is going to be the value of x. So 19 square roots of 2 over 2 centimeters will be the value of x. Since the legs are the same measurement, that is also the value of y. Hypotenuse is given on this example. So once again, I'm going to move from the hypotenuse to the leg. I'm going to get shorter. This time around I'll use the formula again just so you can see it again. So leg times square root of 2 equal the hypotenuse, or hypotenuse divided by square root of 2 is leg. So x is equal to 18 square roots of 14 divided by the square root of 2. Now I could go on and rationalize, but I could also realize that the square root of 14 divides evenly by the square root of 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7, so I really have 18 square roots of 7 centimeters is the value for x. It is also the value for y because the legs are congruent. That concludes the short lesson on the 45-45-90 right triangle. Keep in mind that the ratio is 1:1 to square root of 2, and that when you're getting larger, you multiply by the square root of 2, and when you're getting smaller, you divide by the square root of 2.